in this video, we are going to talk about some of the latest Nintendo Switch news. One of them, which is very exciting, it seems Nintendo is teasing something pretty big when it comes to Pikmin, maybe a new game, maybe something with the Nintendo Switch online service. We don't really know. We're going to talk about that news today. And of course, there's some Nintendo Switch online service games being added and other cool Nintendo Switch 2 news, like new games being announced. If you guys end up enjoying this video and do want to stick around for more Nintendo topics, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel and of course leave a like or comment. So first up, let's talk about the big new project that Nintendo has been teasing. So if you guys haven't seen this yet, which I'd be really shocked if you didn't, Nintendo ended up releasing a animated clip on Twitter and it was pretty fantastic. I mean, it looked really fantastic. It reminded me of things from like Pixar and Disney, that kind of thing. And at first we really didn't know what this was. Now there were a couple theories going around. Some people thought it was Rosalina from the Mario Galaxy movie because of the blonde hair and a very similar shade of eyes. And that was kind of my first guess, but then I noticed a couple things about the actual video. More specifically, the little Pikmin that was running under the baby's bed. I mean, it was plain in sight. Now, it was a blink and you miss it thing, but I caught that and I'm like, okay, this is probably something Pikmin. I mean, what other small creature is going to be running in the background, right? And then other people mentioned that, you know, Pikmins are invisible to the human eye. That's why we can only see them on our phone with Pikmin Bloom. On top of that, in the Nintendo Switch 2 lifetime so far, Nintendo hasn't really done much with Pikmin as well, so of course that's one of the IPs that Nintendo will probably eventually do something with. And then the very next day, Nintendo confirmed it. Yes, this is Pikmin, and they look really fantastic. I actually really enjoy how they're animated. They're much more lively and expressive, and they're really fun to watch. Just carry things around, running around the set, and overall, it was a very enjoyable video to watch. Now, the big question is, why is Nintendo doing this? Is this their next project? Because remember, the last time they did something like this, other than Pokemon Legends ZA, which was for a game itself, it was that Emio trailer. With that game, Nintendo ended up doing a very similar thing, and we got a new Famicom Detective Club game. So is something similar happening? What do you guys think down in the comments section below? Do you think this is for Pikmin 5, just like they released a new Famicom Detective Club game? Now, of course, another reason could be for a Pikmin movie. We know that Nintendo is heavily pushing into other areas. I mean, they have a theme park, they have the Super Mario Bros. Movie, they just announced the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and of course they have the Pokemon animated series that's claymation, I believe, unless they're using Blender. I don't know if they're using Blender or is it claymation, but it looks really fantastic either way. So that is another option that they could be doing with this animated short, or it could just be a one-off. That's entirely possible as well. They haven't really said anything at the time of this recording, which is the 9th, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. And moving on to the Nintendo Switch Online Service stuff. So the Nintendo Switch Online Service just got some new games, and they're pretty decent. I've never actually played these games myself, but if you're interested, this is what Nintendo of Europe over on Twitter has to say. Play 3 more classic Super NES games with Nintendo Switch Online. Fatal Fury Special, Bubsy Inn, Claws Encountered of the Third Kind, and for the first time in the West, Mario and Wario. I've actually never heard of Mario and Wario, so that might actually be pretty interesting to check out now that I think about it. Now, cool thing here, they actually added something extra on top of that. If you guys didn't know, according to the post, Mario and Wario requires a compatible USB mouse, which is pretty easy. You can use not just the Nintendo Switch Online mouse, of course you can just use a regular old mouse, and usually people do have a mouse with a USB on it, so you can use that on your Nintendo Switch too, as far as I know anyways. And moving on to the next topic, we do have some Pokemon Legends ZA news. Small news, but news nonetheless, especially if you don't have a lot of space on your Nintendo Switch. Apparently, according to Stealth40k over on Twitter, Pokemon Legends ZA file sizes. Switch 4 gigabytes, Switch 2 7.7 gigabytes. So make sure you guys do have space for those games. I think that's one of the great things about some Nintendo Switch games anyways, is that a lot of times the file sizes are really small. So that is kind of one of the pluses of the Nintendo Switch Online service. And continuing on with the Pokemon Legends ZA, don't miss out on this if you guys do want to save a little bit more money for something else. Maybe you want to use it towards another game or maybe pre-order another game. So over on Best Buy, Wario64 says this about the post. Best Buy Plus / Total members receive $10 rewards with pre-order / purchases of Pokemon Legends ZA October 7th through October 25th when activating member offer. So if you are going to be doing that and you are going to be picking up Pokemon Legends ZA, make sure you guys do that because you're going to save a little bit more money on that. And moving on to the next topic, we might be getting a Shadow the Hedgehog game. game. Maybe anyway. So if you guys haven't heard about this yet, apparently Sega has renewed the trademark for Shadow the Hedgehog. Now this could be completely nothing. They could not do anything with this. It just could be one of those things where they need to renew the trademark, and that's just one of those things that businesses do. But if we do end up getting a Shadow the Hedgehog game, that would be pretty interesting, because we know that Shadow the Hedgehog was in Sonic 3, so maybe the popularity for that character is a lot more now, and maybe they're trying to capitalize on that popularity. I mean, he was already a pretty popular character in the first place, but it would be pretty cool to get a Shadow the Hedgehog game. Let me know if you guys would play a Shadow the Hedgehog game in the comment section below, because I definitely would. And moving on to the next topic, we do have a new Nintendo Switch game being announced for the Switch 2. So apparently the first-person psychological horror game Tenebrea announced for the Nintendo Switch, according to Nintendo Everything over on Twitter. Now in the article, they do say that there is no release date for the game as of yet, so if you were looking forward to playing some horror games this October, we might get it, we might not. We'll have to wait and see for the release date, and make sure you're subscribed if you are interested in that game, because I definitely will be covering the release date when that drops. And moving on to the Zelda news, it seems that we do have some pretty great news for Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. More details on the game, the characters, and overall just some great news on the game, so let's get into that. So Nintendo Everything says that they've shared some more information on new characters, and even someone who's a maid to Zelda, which is actually pretty interesting. So the first character they talk about is Ingreston, the leader of the Goron tribe. He's intelligent and generous. He has known Rauru for a long time and is a close friend. The next one is Kai, I probably butchered that name too, a Zora princess skilled in martial arts. Her bravery in battle inspires the people she leads. Rafika, the leader of the Rito tribe and a resourceful warrior. His words and actions are often difficult to understand, but deep down he cares for his friends and is loyal. And then they talk about Artie, a kind-hearted warrior who unites the Gerudo tribe. She obeys the tribe's leader, Ganondorf, under the Gerudo tribe's code. And last but not least, we have Linealia, Zelda's maid. Though she has a gentle personality, she is quick to her work and is trusted by Rauru. She has a strong curiosity about mystical and always carries her record book with her. And that is the last topic for today. Make sure you guys tell me your thoughts about this stuff down in the comment section below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Take care.